spending package.
Plus, after months of delays, the Justice Department releases all remaining documents in the Epstein file.
And in sports, the TVC hosts 3 high school games tonight. Find out what these teams are facing ahead of tonight's matchups. Newswatch starts right now. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Parker Davis.
And I'm Serenity Prophet. Welcome to Newswatch.
It's been another frigid day here in Athens with another round of freezing temperatures coming our way. Let's hand it over to forecaster Calvin Stebbins with the details.
Yeah, guys, for most of today, we saw this cold front move through our area over the past few hours, and mixing in with this high pressure system, we're starting to see winds pick up, at least heading in through tonight and heading into tomorrow. Now, it has been clear of any snow, and that's going to remain as well through the weekend. Now, with all this mixing in together, the National Weather Service has issued a cold weather advisory for most of southeastern Ohio. Pretty much what this is saying is we're expecting lows to be as low as -10 degrees tonight. So if you are going out, make sure you bundle up and limit your time outside. Hypothermia and frostbite are all on the table. So again, if you are heading out, I would limit yourself to around 30 minutes outside, at least for tonight. Now just taking a look at our surrounding areas just south of I-70, 14 in Zanesville and 12 in Lancaster. Then through the Ohio River Valley, 20 in Huntington and 16 in Parkersburg. But currently here in Athens, it is 18 degrees. We're getting that wind from the north at around 8 miles per hour with that wind chill feel like temperature at around 8 degrees. So if you are heading out again, make sure to bundle up. Heading into tonight, we'll see that overnight low of -1 with mostly cloudy skies. I'm going to send it back to Parker and Serenity at the desk.
Thank you, Calvin. Local businesses and professors join a national movement against ICE. Today is the general strike against ICE across the country, with protests and organizers calling for a national shutdown. Athens businesses like Little Fish and Jackie O's donated funding from Business Today to organizations supporting immigrants and refugee populations in Ohio and the ACLU. Some Ohio University professors moved classes and assignments to accommodate the strike. Protests will continue across the country throughout today and tomorrow. Congress has just hours to pass a federal spending package to avoid another government shutdown. Senate leaders reached a deal to fund critical agencies through September, but have yet to vote on it. The deal only gives temporary funding to the Department of Homeland Security while lawmakers debate forms for immigration and customs enforcement, better known as ICE. Democrats want to impose more restrictions on ICE agents, like requiring them to wear body cameras and remove their masks. This comes after 2 U.S. citizens were shot and killed by ICE officers.
The clock is ticking, the nation is waiting, and the abuses of ICE must come to an end.
Even if the Senate votes today, final passage could be delayed until Monday when the House returns from recess, meaning there could be a partial government shutdown this weekend. Several agencies have already been fully funded for the rest of the year, so the shutdown would look different than the record-long full shutdown last year. When your child reaches for their phone, social media is most likely to be the first place they are checking. And it's not uncommon for news of immigration enforcement action to be the main topic that pops up on feeds. Maribel Gonzalez shares how this exposure can take a toll on your child's mental health and ways to talk about this topic in a supportive way.
Immigration raids and protests in response are making nationwide headlines. Health experts say images like these can be overwhelming for children who may be privy to them even when parents don't realize it.
In the age of social media, kids are oftentimes learning information through their friends or things that they see on the website or overhear in the news.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Natalie Cruz explains how parents can spot if their child may be experiencing stress.
One minute they're sad, the next minute they're angry, and maybe it goes beyond kind of what is typical for the teenager.
Having an open and honest dialogue with kids is key.
Hey, Johnny, there's been so much happening in the news lately. Have you heard anything about immigration or ICE? Start open. Start with a wide kind of question and see where that leads you.
For families and communities impacted directly by immigration enforcement,
there's a whole lot of children. They're simply not going to school right now because the fear that's happening in the community is just very real.
Experts say if you feel you may be targeted by ICE, having a contingency plan helps children feel secure amid uncertainty.
A child benefits from knowing what would happen to them. who would take care of them.
And for those not directly impacted,
focus in on the areas that the child and the family do have control over.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
The Justice Department is releasing all remaining documents in the Epstein files. The documents include more than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images from the investigation into the accused sex trafficker. Notable people in the files include advisors in the Obama White House, former Trump senior advisor Steve Bannon, and the world's richest man, Elon Musk. It's not clear whether the release of the documents will end the public outcry from critics who said the DOJ and Attorney General Pam Bondi did not follow through on their promise for transparency. President Trump taps Kevin Warsh to be the next Federal Reserve chair. Warsh is a former inflation hawk who now favors lower interest rates. He also is calling for an overhaul in the central bank's workforce. Trump says Warsh will be an asset to the Fed.
An outstanding person and a person that won't be too surprising to people. A lot of people think that this is somebody that could have been there a few years ago. It's going to be somebody that is very respected, somebody that's known to everybody in the financial world, and I think it's going to be a very good choice.
Trump's pick comes after months of back and forth with current chair Jerome Powell over interest rates. The Senate Banking Committee will consider Warsh's nomination in the public hearing. The Ohio Tax Credit Authority is moving forward with 6 projects, creating 348 new jobs and retaining 243 in Ohio. Store Glass in Logan is one of those 6. Store Glass expects to add another 105 full-time positions and generate another $8.2 million in new annual payroll. Store Glass is a solar panel company. The overall grant is expected to generate a total of $29.4 million in payroll and $56 million in investments in Ohio. The TCA approved the tax credit for 1.56% over the next 8 years. Coming up, another winter storm is barreling towards the East Coast. Stick around to hear how it would affect this weekend's weather.
And if this winter's frigid temperatures have you wishing for a vacation, hear where to find the best cruise line deals for your warm weather getaway.
It's been a cold one out there today. Stay tuned to see if we have any relief.
I am so happy you're home.
There's only one way to find out.
Do tell.
Just made some tea. You want a cup?
It's my favourite part.
It's cold, don't you, to keep me warm?
See enough for that. Thank you very much.
This is so much fun. There's no place like home.
Are you coming to bed? Yours or mine?
On Masterpiece.
Still coming to lunch tomorrow, aren't you?
Absolutely. Do either of you have the foggiest idea about playing croquet?
You just have to be your charming self.
What's on it? James? Tristan?
This came for you. All Creatures Great and Small on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
In the spring of 1971, there was so much that was altered.
The new rules will be phased in from this year.
There was rage.
We know our rights.
And there was love.
You have a little girl.
And we marched together.
Quite something, isn't it, sister?
It is the future.
There's much about me that you don't know. It's quite the adventure. Shall we?
Hi, I'm Paula Kerger, President and CEO of PBS. It's been a challenging year for PBS, but your commitment to PBS and this local station reminds us why public media matters. Because of you, we're able to show up for our communities, informing, educating, and inspiring us all, now and for the future. Thank you.
Emmy Award-winning actress Catherine O'Hara has died. O'Hara died after a brief battle with illness, a staff member confirmed this morning. She starred in comedies spanning across generations, including Home Alone, Beetlejuice, and Schitt's Creek. O'Hara won her first Emmy in 1982, writing for SCTV. Her second came in 2020 when she was awarded for her role as Moira Rose in Schitt's Creek. O'Hara received 2 nominations for her work this year in The Last of Us and The Studio. She's survived by her husband and two sons.
As freezing temperatures hang around Athens, the East Coast gets ready for another round of snow.
Brian Abel has the details on the looming winter storm.
In a weekend weather sequel, a powerful bomb cyclone endangering parts of the southeast and mid-Atlantic. The rapidly strengthening winter storm is set to deliver unusual amounts of snow, damaging winds, and dangerous coastal flooding.
All North Carolinians should be finalizing plans now and should be prepared to stay home and off the roadways starting tonight through early next week.
More than 28 million people are under winter storm watches and warnings, with many of the areas still recovering from the deadly winter storm just a week prior.
And it's starting to feel a bit like Groundhog Week here in North Carolina.
The most impactful snowfall is expected across central and eastern North Carolina, and central and northeast South Carolina into southern Virginia. Georgia also declaring a state of emergency, with some portions expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow. Potential hurricane-force wind gusts approaching nearly 75 miles per hour are expected along parts of the North Carolina and Virginia shorelines by Saturday night, with blizzard conditions possible when mixed with heavy snow. Crews along the coast working now to prepare for the system, pre-treating roads and warning residents.
NCDOT crews have been working in shifts around the clock on de-icing operations to clear the roadways from what's left from the past weekend storm, and anti-icing operations to prepare for the roads for the coming weather.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Seems like we really just can't catch a break from all the snow, and I know they mentioned it was on the east coast of this storm. Do you think we'll have any impact here in southeast Ohio?
You know, luckily we're not going to see much of an impact from this storm system, at least for southeast Ohio. But again, you know, it's just one of those things where those bomb cyclones, they can have some outer bands that can like form some flurries or anything like that. So it's just something to keep an eye on for at least the weekend. Now just taking a look at our surface analysis just around the country, at least for our neck of the woods, we have a high pressure system just forming to our east. So we're not expecting any of those winter storms, at least from that bomb cyclone, but we can see exactly where it is forming just off the coast of the Carolinas, and that's going to continue to intensify for the upcoming days and as early as tomorrow morning. But again, for at least our neck of the woods, we have high pressure sitting and high and dry. That's the number one thing to think about with that high pressure system. We're not going to get any of that wintry mix, at least for the upcoming weekend. Now, because of our cold weather we've been having, the National Weather Service has issued a cold weather advisory for most of southeastern Ohio. So pretty much what this is saying is we're going to expect lows as low as negative 10 degrees out there, at least for tonight. So if you are going out, make sure you bundle up and limit your time outside. I'd recommend at least less than 30 minutes out there, as those cold temperatures can cause hypothermia and frostbite for most of. And again, if you are going out, make sure you bundle up and limit your time out there. Now, over the past few hours, we did have some clouds start to develop just to the Indiana-Kentucky border, and they have moved into our area, which has allowed that chance for that cold to really stick around for most of the day. And if we just take a look at what happened last night with the weather, with the temperature, we saw our lows dip down to negative 7 degrees here in Athens and then negative 16 in Lancaster. But as the day has continued, we saw some daytime heating, and we saw our high up into the low 20s for most of the day. Now, currently here in Athens, it is 18 degrees with some clear skies out there, and we are seeing some winds coming from the north at around 8 miles per hour. Now, with those winds, we are starting to see that wind chill sit around 8 degrees right now, and we're expecting that to drop heading into tonight. Heading into tonight, it will be -1 overnight low with mostly cloudy skies, and we're expecting it to be colder than that. Now, again, heading into tomorrow, we're going to start to see some winds pick up. We'll have a high of 17 and a low of 5, and again, we're expecting that to be just a little bit cooler with partly sunny skies sticking around. Taking a look at tomorrow morning, we have some high pressure just sitting stationary over our area. Now, heading into tomorrow night, we're going to expect that high pressure just to drop down to our south and hopefully knock off that bomb cyclone. Heading into Sunday morning, Again, not much is happening in our neck of the woods, but then heading into Sunday night, we're going to start to see that chance of that wintry mix, short-lived flurries and short-lived snow showers return to our area. Taking a look at our 7-day outlook, at least heading into Sunday, partly sunny skies, high of 23 with a low of 3. Monday, those cloudy skies will be sticking around, high of 30 with a low of 17. Then that snow chance will return heading into Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the mid to low 30s, and then much of the same can be said for the rest of the week.
Thanks. Well, if you're looking for an escape from frigid weather, you might be in luck. Cruise lines are offering discounts for travelers, and Jen Sullivan has where you can get the best bang for your buck.
With bitter cold temperatures sweeping the country, you may be dreaming of white beaches instead of snowbanks. And now is a great time to book a trip because many cruise companies are slashing their prices.
You can find deals, discounts, incentives, and offers all across the board.
Emily Kaufman, known online as the Travel Mom, says from now through March, many cruises offer promotional savings. It's known as wave season.
Historically, this time of year is slow when it comes to travel. This is an incentive to get people thinking about travel, planning, and booking their cruises.
AAA estimates nearly 22 million Americans will take a cruise this year. That would be a record. So what type of discounts are we talking about? From now through February 16th, Princess Cruises is offering up to 40% off on select trips. Kaufman says that's up to $500 of savings. You can sail to places like the Caribbean, Europe, and Alaska. Celebrity Cruises has a deal for 75% off the second guest on select trips. Carnival Cruises is offering 50% off select trips, but that deal ends January 31st.
National Geographic Lindblad expeditions sails to great places like the Galapagos and Antarctica, and you can save 20% off of those experiences now too.
And it's not just big cruise lines. You can also find deals on many river cruises. You don't have to take your trip right away, but you do have to book it now to score the deals. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The TSA is changing its policy around real ID starting February 1st. Passengers will have to pay a $45 fee to use an alternative ID. The alternative ID will be usable for a 10-day period. Real IDs are any vetted ID verified by the DMV and are identifiable by a yellow or black star in the ID on the ID. The law enforcing real ID usage was not applicable until last May, but the federal government announced the alternative ID change this December. For more information and steps, go to the TSA website.
Your smile might be the first thing you see on a real ID, but Americans are still neglecting their dental health. Mandy Gaither has the latest on how teeth impact their overall health.
You use it to eat and talk, but having a healthy mouth is worth much more than just a pretty smile.
It's about an investment in your overall health and well-being.
Dr. Stephen Katz with the American Association of Endodontists says patients don't often realize that oral health plays a big role in overall health.
If you have healthy teeth, that you can improve your cardiovascular health, you can reduce your risk of diabetes, and you can improve your cognitive function as you age.
Despite those reasons, officials say oral health in U.S. adults hasn't changed much the past 2 decades. About 90% of adults between the ages of 20 to 64 have some tooth decay, and nearly half of adults between 45 and 64 years of age have gum disease. Some may dismiss tooth pain due to lack of insurance, as about 1 in 4 working age adults don't have it. Others may dread getting care. About 1 in 5 adults have moderate to high dental fear and anxiety.
The fact that people say that root canals are painful is really a myth.
Katz says new techniques, advanced technologies, and improved local anesthesia now make the procedure pain-free, quick, and easy.
If you need a root canal, don't be hesitant to go.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Next in sports, despite the snowy weather and cancellations all week long, we have some Friday night hoops action. Stay tuned for a preview of those 3 matchups and a look back at yesterday coming up next.
Dedication, ingenuity, and teamwork.
This is what it takes to be a parent on our planet. Success has perhaps the greatest of consequences. It ensures the future of life on Earth. This is parenthood.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
What are dogs thinking?
Water.
People think they know.
Snuggle. You want snuggle?
She's communicating with me.
People read a little bit too far into things.
But what does science say?
We need to look into this.
Now the largest animal communication study ever.
Where can we take this and how far can dogs go?
Are they just pushing our buttons? Or can dogs talk on Nova?
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
You are ready to go.
Did you get that? That is incredible.
We are a part of a revolution.
That, for me, is so exciting.
After almost a full school week's worth of cancellations, we have some Friday night hoops going down in the Plains.
We welcome in Newswatch reporter Joshua Horner to break down the Megs-Athens matchup.
Parker and Serenity, weather has really ruined a lot of athletic weeks for teams in the area, but we have a few matchups tonight. That Athens-Megs matchup, like you mentioned, that's just about to start behind me in a little bit, and we also had a game yesterday in the TVC Ohio. Athens took on NY last night in Nelsonville, the lone contest. That didn't get canceled, and Athens won pretty handily by 20 points in a 54-33 win, and in large part thanks to Lex Kupel, who had another monster game for the Bulldogs after her 19-point, 11-rebound, and 8-block performance last week. She came back this week and dropped 27 on the Lady Buckeyes last night. Teammates Ella Chapman and Quinn Banks also added in double digits, giving the Bulldogs 3 scores in double figures. NY's Maddie Pickock led the Buckeyes with 11 points herself. And here are the Bulldogs at the top of the standings by themselves, getting their 8th win of the season, and clinching scenarios now aren't too far away. If Athens wins out or only drops 1 game in conference, the conference is theirs all by themselves. However, they could also drop 2 games with a Vinton County loss, as the Vikings, Spartans, and Raiders remain the teams still in the hunt. Now let's go to the other side of the TVC Hawking, the girls' standings, as there weren't any games played this week, meaning the 3-way tie between Federal Hawking, Waterford, and Eastern still remains. The Lancers and Wildcats still have 1 matchup to play between each other, as Eastern still has Trimble and Southern left on the schedule. The Tomcats still also have a chance to find their way at the top as well. So there's still a lot to be determined for the TVC girls, and that's also just about the same for the boys. And the contest that's about to go down here in the Plains features the team at the top of the Ohio, and that is the Megs Marauders. As things stand, still in first by themselves, but a couple teams still in the hunt behind them. This Bulldog team, though, played the Marauders tough earlier in the season in what was a 10-point win for Megs. Owen Tracy and Colvin Buechler led the way for Megs, scoring over 20-plus points each. And as for the Bulldogs, Colin Chapman had 25 himself, while Ren Ballou added in 13 points. And the Bulldogs held the Marauders' star forward Carson Davis to only 11 points, which is tough for any defense to do. And like I mentioned, Megs still owns the top spot in the TVC Ohio by themselves with a 1-game advantage as things stand over Wellston. Still left for the Marauders include tonight versus Athens, away at Vinton County, and at home against River Valley and NY. The Golden Rockets aren't out of it yet. If the Marauders don't win out and Wellston does, they can either share or get the conference by themselves. And as for the other side of the TVC, we have 2 games tonight. Eastern squares off with Fed Hawk, as both teams need a win to stay up in the standings. Eastern, led by Colton Lloyd, and are looking to rebound from their 6-12 start, while Fedhawk is looking to add win number 6 themselves. And the other matchup we have in the Hawking, Waterford and Trimble. You see this insane buzzer beater from Reese Lang that won a huge game against Fedhawk a few weeks ago. And as for the Tomcats, it's been the Brady Jasek show all year long for them, as the junior guard has really led the team this season. And there are 2 contests in the Hawking tonight, but one of the important reschedules is Southern taking on Belpre, which will now be played tomorrow. The Tornadoes are still pretty comfortably in first place with 3 conference contests left, and with a win tomorrow, they would clinch first place all by themselves. All right, Parker and Serenity, despite the snow cooling things off across the 740, the race to the top of the conference for both TVC boys and girls are only getting hotter as the season goes on.
Thank you, Josh. You can tune in to Hardwood Heroes this Sunday at 11 p.m. on WOUB and the WOUB YouTube channel for a recap of this week's games. Still ahead, it's that time of year when chocolate boxes, candy hearts, and teddy bears are flying off the shelves. But you may be surprised to hear how much Americans are actually spending this Valentine's Day.
Enslaved people like Harriet Tubman were the original abolitionists.
She was very to the point. My name is Harriet Tubman. I'm here to take you to freedom. You need to follow me, and we need to move right now.
She is someone who saw herself as having a purpose and who was on earth to deliver on that purpose.
Harriet Tubman, Visions of Freedom.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Next time on the American Revolution, Brandywine, Germantown, and Saratoga.
This was not just a military defeat, it was a psychological blow.
Native peoples are divided.
We're killing each other. For what?
And the strategy of a general.
Washington doesn't have to win. He only has not to lose.
When the American Revolution continues.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Every now and then, an essay continues to speak to people.
Henry David Thoreau wrote about the impact of industrialization on nature and society. He tried to live a simple and intentional existence.
I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately.
Thoreau says you can't even ask the deep questions if you don't stop to figure out what the deep questions are.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
Supporting this PBS station through a gift in your will is easy. To find out more, call the number on your screen or visit this website. Thank you.
The countdown to Valentine's Day has begun. Hearts are bursting and so are wallets, as Americans are projected to spend a record-breaking $29 billion on the holiday festivities. That's a 5.7% increase from last year. The average consumer spending nearly $200 on gifts alone. Among the Valentine's Day gifts, candy remains the most popular, followed by flowers, cards, a night out, and jewelry. Well, Valentine's Day is around the corner, approaching sooner than we expect, but tonight, what can we expect in terms of, will it be higher temperatures, lower?
You know, spending might be high for Valentine's Day, but we are expecting some lower temperatures out there. We do have a cold weather advisory for most of our area, so we're expecting those wind chills to really bring down our temperatures to around the -10 degrees and expecting just some nice winds out there. Now, heading into tomorrow, we are going to see a nice bump up in our highs with a high of 17 and a low of 5. Those partly sunny skies will be sticking around.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for watching. For Calvin Stebbins, I'm Parker Davis.
And I'm Serenity Prophet. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.